siblings, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Shelly, and the name of my channel is Soul Symbols. I'm a writer, an astrologer, and a card reader. And what I do is I post videos on both Tuesdays and on Saturdays on how to read the symbols in tarot and oracle cards, just for personal well-being and to understand the symbols in life. And this month I've been doing several really specialty videos. Over the course of Halloween, I had 2 extra videos in addition to my Tuesday and Saturday posts. And I just had such a good time filming that I really wanted to do something extra special. For the month of November, I will be posting on Tuesdays and on Saturdays as normal. On Tuesdays, I do what I call my How to Tarot series, and that is where I take one card from the 78 major, regular tarot cards, and we analyze the symbols in that card, and then we do a reading based on that card. On Saturdays, I do what I call a weekly card reading energy. And so those are the 2 basic videos that I do. But for November, really the only holidays that we have coming up in November were Thanksgiving. And since I really want to kind of sprinkle some extra special videos in with the regular 2-post week, I decided to do something kind of different. As I mentioned yesterday, if you followed my channel, if you saw the weekly reading, the weekly energy reading from yesterday, there's a little bit of story behind this today. The title of this video is Dungeons and Dragons Tarot Reading. And what it was is I feel like I read cards for myself and of course also for this channel, because I feel like the cards really speak to you. I feel like our subconscious speaks to you in symbols, just like dreams or anything else. And I think when you meditate on the cards, or when you throw the cards and you kind of see what the cards are telling you, that it can really give you really positive messages. And I think it helps you to explore your psyche, as well as kind of problem solve and just kind of look at things in a new way. And I always felt like Dungeons and Dragons, D&D, was very similar in the way that you're telling a story. You control the story with the actions of the game, and you decide where you go and you decide what to do next. And I always just thought that was really, really neat. Plus the fact that you can kind of control your character, you control your persona. And I just always thought there was a nice association between the symbols of tarot and the D&D game. Now, I'm not a formal D&D player. I do not play myself, but I do have a lot of friends who are very good at it. And but one thing that I am good is that I absolutely love dice. And if you've seen other videos on my channel, I use all sorts of dice. I use storytelling dice. I use astrology dice. I have a new set of dice coming in that's like conversation or word dice that I'm going to be incorporating, and then I also use charms. So I'm very used to using dice, and so I wanted to kind of do something special for those D&D players. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to host a card reading that is based on Dungeons and Dragons. It's going to be kind of like a story that gives you your energies through tarot and oracle. And let me go ahead and I'll give you a quick story, and then I'll get into the background. Well, I got this idea primarily because, again, I post twice a week, and in October, in this last week, I had all sorts of opportunities to post special videos because of the holiday. I posted a Who's Haunting You video, and I posted a Your Inner Monster. And feel free to check those out if you want. They were a lot of fun. So moving forward, I thought, okay, if I don't have a lot of formal holidays coming up, I mean the holidays themselves, Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's, I decided to start looking at the national day list. You know how it's like National Cat Day, National, Eat a Donut Day. And I just for fun, I Googled a bunch of different days, like topics that I'm interested in. I love coffee. I looked at what days were about coffee, what days were about dogs, what days were about cats. And I finally just Googled, okay, D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, what's the formal day for that? And it's funny, I did see that there was a national D&D day that's hosted in May, But then I saw, and this is according to Wikipedia, which I take Wikipedia to be the honest as Zeus truth. So I looked at Wikipedia and it said Worldwide D&D Day, November 3rd. And I got all excited, and I had gone to this tarot retreat, so I was all stoked. And so I went to my pad and paper, and I actually created a specialty spread, and I got specialty dice, and I said, let me do a special spread about D&D. And then after I had done all the work and got all the prep, I looked closer at the Wikipedia post, and it turns out that was Worldwide Dungeons and Dragons Day was one day that was like a media event based on one of the characters, like the 20th anniversary of one of the characters of D&D, and it was hosted once in 2007. So it is a Mercury retrograde, and I should have known better. I should have double checked my facts well before I got so invested. But you know what? I already made up the spread. I already got the decks. I have a wonderful deck that I'll tell you about that is just fantastic for this reading. And we're here. By the power that's vested in me by my card table, I, Shelley, declare it International D&D Tarot Card Reading Day. So you know what? We're gonna do this. We're here. Let's roll with it. So my plan for the day is, what I'm going to do is we have 3 tarot decks, and tarot is like the meat of a reading. It tells you what's going on. It gives you the most description for the most bang for your buck. And so we've got the Anna Kay Tarot, and then on the Anna Kay Tarot we have, and I'm going to do a freeze frame, but we have Falkor the Luck Dragon, and 10 points if you know what movie this dude is from. So pile number 1, Anna Kay Tarot, Falkor the Luck Dragon. Second pile is the Vice Versa Tarot. And this deck actually does not have a formal back. It's like double-sided. So, but we're still going to shuffle real well. You have the Knight of Swords on the top. I wonder if that's already speaking to us. And then I have this beautiful green stone. And this is kind of like the stone that the dragon guards, and actually this dragon has been looking at that stone, so I'm just going to turn. There's actually a card in here that shows a dragon guarding a stone, and it looks so much like these two guys. I'm curious if it'll come out in the reading. But so tarot deck number 2, Vice Versa Tarot, and you got the green gemstone. The last tarot deck is one that you're probably familiar with if you watch my channel. It is The Witch's Tarot by Dugan, and I went ahead and put a gold, this was something I'd made at a Halloween party. It's a gold coin. It kind of has wood stuck on the other side. But what it was is we took clay, and it's wizard's ridicule. It's wizard money. But so the gold coin and the Witch's Tarot is deck 3. And what I'll do in just a few minutes, I'm going to freeze frame and let you pick your deck. When you pick your deck, I'm going to go ahead, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick one card from this deck, which is the Raven's Wand Oracle. And this is it's kind of a fantasy deck and each one of the cards has a story behind it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with your story card. You pick a deck, and I'll start with your story card, and then I will clarify using the tarot that you chose. Then I will further clarify by picking this is the Sacred Traveler Oracle cards by Denise, Linn. And it's so positive, and it's so cool. It kind of furthers our journey. And then the last deck I'm going to clarify with, and this is the center card, and I call it the Dragon's Heart. And what it is, it's the core of your problem. It's the core of your situation. It's the core of your journey, the core of your energies. And it's the Gospel of Arcadia by Stacey Demarco. And this is actually a deck I did not know that I needed in my life. It was gifted to me by one of my fellow tarot ladies. If you're watching this video, you know you know who you are. And thank you so much. I'm loving this deck, and it's gonna be the heart of this reading. And that's going to give us the core of your journey. Now, to finish off and again, I mentioned earlier, I love dice. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I went all out, because go big or go home. If we're going to do this, I'm declaring an international day. You know, I have to do this right? I went ahead and I got D&D dice in Chakra colors. Yeah, buddy, I went there. So what it is each one of these dice, and it's the different, you know, it's, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna, and I actually made this bag. I'll get into that in a minute. That's another giveaway thing. I make bags for my cards, and I make bags for my dice, because I love dice and I love cards, and I'm good with the sewing machine. And this is actually the smallest bag I've ever made in my life. It's funny, you would think I only have 3 dice with my astrology, and you would think that was the smallest bag, but no, this was the tiniest dice bag that I've ever made. And it's very well quality. But what I'm gonna do is, at the end of your reading, after we go through your journey, I will dig in your dice bag, I will pull out a stone, and then I will roll it, and we will go over your chakra, and we'll go over what can burden your chakra, what can fix your chakra, and your number. So that is your reading. That's gonna be what we're doing. And to sweeten the deal, because I am declaring this a holiday when it's really not, and I don't care, because this is my show. I like to make dice bags, and this is a giveaway. This is a golden suede bag. It's very soft, with a very, very nice cream colored lining. It's kind of neutral. And I've tested it with my other story dice, but we could test it with your D&D dice. It is excellent. It's very shakeable in both closed and open forms. And you can go ahead and put your whole hand into it and pull out your dice as needed. And it has a drawstring. It has, you don't have to bow it, and if you don't want to, you can just tie it closed, and there's a little kind of circle to knot it. But this is a free giveaway dice bag. It's made with a sewing machine, but it's made by me, handmade, and I assure you it holds a lot of dice. I tested it with my story dice, and it's absolutely awesome. But if you would like a chance to win this dice bag, it's a free giveaway on my channel. All you have to do is leave a comment. You don't even have to like or subscribe if you don't want to. I appreciate that if you do. I have a beloved 7 subscribers right now. So if you want to join my siblings, you want to be a soul sibling, I would be eternally grateful. But otherwise, all you have to do is leave a comment, and you are entered to win the bag. And what I will do is, as soon as we have enough entries, I will go ahead, because I am a new channel, as soon as we have enough entries, I will do a random draw, and I will contact you and mail you your bag, if that's something that you would like. All right, so that is enough of the introductions. Oh yeah, you are entered to win. All right. So I am stupid excited. I've been waiting. There's been a lot of I've posted a lot of videos this week, but I'm excited about this. I'm gonna go ahead and pause the video. If you would like to go ahead and choose one of the 3 tarot decks, I do ask that you choose from your intuition, choose from your gut. If you like the artwork, if you like the item, if you like the deck, if there's something that just seems to be pulling you from behind the center of your chest, or wherever it's pulling you, go with it, pick it, and I'll see you in just a moment. All right, my D&D folks, we are back. And I knew I was going to be excited about this reading just because I pull the energy from you guys. You guys send me your good vibes, and I just knew, just being the nature of it and being the watchers of it, I knew this was going to be an exciting time. All right, so what I'm going to do, deck number 1, Falcor the Luck Dragon. I love this guy. He's very, very positive. And he has kind of blue-green eyes that seem to match the stone. It's almost like he has the stone in his eyes. All right, I'm gonna stop being goofy, and so let's pull your story. Deck number 1. What is their D&D journey? Deck number 1. What is their D&D journey? Please send. Okay. Deck number 1. This is your journey. Now, I'm gonna pull your deck. I'm just referencing my little. Okay. So this is going to be what aids in your journey. What aids in deck number one's journey? What aids in deck number one's journey? Our Falcor. Okay, you see this? You see that, right? That's what aids. What hinders? What holds back? Actually, I'm going to put this here because this is what brings you forward. This is what holds you back. Ooh. I'm just going to use this as a descriptor because it seems to be kind of going out. And I can see you. I can see, I got a glimpse of it. I knew this was going to be a fun read. Oh my gosh. You're sending me your energy. I love this. All right. All right, reining it in. Deck number one. What is your guidance? What is the guidance? Ooh. What is the guidance to deck number one's journey? Can you see okay? And make sure you stay in focus. Nighttime filming gets a little funky with the lighting, I'm sorry. Ooh. You saw, that's a flipper. And I don't mean the dolphin. All right. So, pile number one. Oh, God. I knew I was going to love this. You guys are awesome. Oh, yes, and real quick, before I forget, let me go ahead and I'm pulling your chakra. Ooh. Oh, gosh. And I hope I'm reading this correctly. I had a friend direct me, who's familiar, but you got the sacral, you got the throat chakra with 00, which is extremely powerful. All right, we will get to that in a minute, but that's your chakra, and those are your numbers. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and read it. Mistakes teach us. And let me go ahead and I will hold this card up. I definitely share this. All right, mistakes teach us. All right, can you see? Such beautiful artwork. As one of Wildwood's senior witches, Lana Zuri watches the coven's youngest learn to mount and fly a flying staff. The inexperienced witches may fall many times and likely earn plenty of bruises, but mistakes are good. Without mistakes, we would not progress. Each time a young witch falls, Lana resists the urge to fuss over them, knowing that they have to take a few knocks in order to find independence. The same is true for our own loved ones. Our dreams, plans, and hopes for them have to be robust enough to take a few hits. Otherwise, a really strong gust comes by and they'll be ill prepared. So, wow. All right. So that's your D&D story. And you see, she's a gentle teacher, right? She's a gentle teacher. And, ooh, one more thing. Let me get the heart of your story. Ooh, all right. Dreams. All right. So mistakes teach us. All right. Now, what hinders you is the 3 of Pentacles. See? That's what hinders you. That's what holds you back. So you see this here. And then what aids you is the Knight of Wands. And then this kind of came out as an extra descriptor, and you got the King of Wands, or King of Rods, King of Wands. And then oh, I'm sorry, you got a core already. Oops, I'm so sorry, guys. I'll just put this back, but you did also, dreams also flipped, so I'll use that together. The heart, the core of the matter is union and dreams. And then the guidance is surrendering to the journey. All right. All right. So what I see, deck number 1, is definitely, you've had a few. Have you ever, I don't know if you've ever raised children, or if you ever remember with your own parents, do you remember times in your life where it's like, okay, your parent, maybe your mom or your dad, kind of always took care of everything for you? If you ran into trouble or if you didn't know what to do, they were always real quick to run up and kind of help you, or maybe you experienced that with your own children. But you see how here she's kind of wisely has her hands inside of her cloak, and you see her ankles are crossed, and she's watching. She's not ignoring what the kids are doing, but she's waiting. What is it that they always say? There's a saying with mothers, it's either blood, fire, or I think water. It's literally like, you do not come to get me unless it's a flood, unless someone is gushing blood, or the house is on fire. and it's not to ignore anyone. It is not to ignore anyone, but it is just to say, you need to get your own legs. It's kind of adulting. It's kind of, it's letting someone learn their own limits, and it's pushing someone to kind of get their own legs. They have to learn how to do something. So the nature of your journey is that mistakes are necessary. Whether you're the one on the broom or whether you're the one watching the one on the broom, you got to let people make mistakes. That's how you learn, right? And sometimes, those bruises or those minor little scars are the badges of honor that help us get where we are meant to get to in life. Now, what is holding you back is the Three of Pentacles. Now, the Three of Pentacles, and especially in this deck, normally in a regular Rider-Waite-Smith, it would show people collaborating, but here you see one person. You see one person, and you can tell there's several stained glass windows, and here you have this person putting the last pane of glass up into a window. So here, this is really about first off, it's about growing in a work environment. The other thing is it is learning a skill. It isn't it's not as much as Eight of Pentacles, but it is a kind of about diving into your work a little bit. And the vibe I get from this is that maybe, and if the fact that it's in the hindrance, it's in the place that hinders you, it holds you back, like it's on the left side. So if we're looking at a timeline, left to right, it's what's kind of pulling you back. I would say that maybe something about work makes you avoid. Maybe you throw yourself into work so you don't have to deal with, I don't know, everything else in your life. Maybe you have relationships and you just say, okay, I'd rather be at work than deal with relationships. Then in that case, it's hindering you, because what it's doing is it's keeping you busy, and it's keeping you busy enough that you're not doing the things. Like maybe you're meant to kind of, go through the act of having bumps and bruises in relationships, or just something other than work. Maybe you are supposed to, go through, because there is something to be learned about going through the little waves of life. Maybe you've been asked to stay at home with the kids one night and it's not really entertaining. You know what I mean? Maybe you have work to do at work. You'd rather be at work doing paperwork than, doing what the kids want to do. But it's important. Your role as a parent, your role as a spouse, your role in a relationship is to be there for your family. And if you kind of distract yourself with other things, you're not learning that. You're not doing the work. You're avoiding the work that you need to do. And now, to kind of clarify your situation, and again, this was kind of an extra card, you got the King of Rods, which is the King of Wands. And he's a very fiery character. He's a very dynamic character. And he's very warm. I've always said he's very warm. Here, this guy with the sun blazing behind him and the flag in his hand, he looks like he is gung-ho going to do something. And again, the fact that it's transitioning over to what aids you. And what aids you is the Knight of Rods, the Knight of Wands. And you see he's raising the flag, right? He's in the heat of battle. And you almost see behind him there's kind of clouds, but then beyond the clouds is the same bright sunny sky. You see in the King it's all bright sunny, but in the Knight it's a little bit of conflict. But so it's saying the nature of your temperament is the King, but what aids you is the Knight. And knights are action takers. Knights are the ones who go on missions. They're the ones who do things. And so the fact that it's telling you that your temperament is a king, your temperament is the I rule, and he's the very experienced expression of fire. He's the very experienced expression of action. And the fact that it's telling you that, yes, you can be a knight, you can take this action, but what it's telling you is that, I think what it's telling you is that you're used to taking action. You're good at taking action. And the thing is, you know what action to take. But I think what it's kind of telling you is the fact that it kind of transitions through the king and goes back to a knight, and a knight is less than a king. I don't think it's telling you to dim to fit in. I think what it's telling you is you can make that call. You can say, no, honey, I'm not going to stay at home with the kids. I'm going to go to work and do my thing because I'm the king and I make that call. But here it's telling you, take the action that you know you need to take. Take the action that is a little bit not beneath you, but take the action in the area that you are not experienced in. You see, you're experienced at work. You know work backwards and forwards. Do you know parenting backwards and forwards? Do you know, being a spouse backwards and forwards? That might be the area that you need to learn. And you are going to feel, like you're going from a knight, you're going to feel like you're going from a king to a knight, right? Because you see this lady, she's almost watching you, right? It's almost like going back into boot camp, right? It's like, okay, sure, you know everything about work, but you know, when little Timmy, started, did a backflip off the couch and needed 3 stitches, do you know what to do? do you have your insurance card at the ready? I think what it's telling you is that be ready to engage in the things you don't know as well with the same enthusiasm as the things that you know so well. So it might not be work. Pentacles usually is work. It's usually the money earning. And I'm seeing, this could be for a feminine. This can be a woman watching, but I am seeing a lot of masculine figures here. So, and goodness knows, work is a nice escape. It's a nice way to say, well, I contribute to the household because I work, let me just go to work. But here it's telling you, go ahead and go into the realms you're not so familiar with. Don't downgrade yourself, but take your crown off for a day and be like, okay, let me learn something new. Let me be a knight for a day. And you're not even a page. This isn't telling you to be a page. It's not telling you, it's not busting you down to corporal, okay? But it's busting you down to captain. You're not general, be captain for a day. It's still an awesome job. It's still an awesome job. And it's also telling me that the fact that he's raising the flag, I think that you're going to find some kind of victory in this. I think you'll be a little scared at first, but the moment that you get the hang of it, you'll be like, yeah, I got this. And now I got a merit badge in work. I got a merit badge in home. I'm just an Eagle Scout all around. Sorry for all the analogies. But, and then the core, sorry, I'm leaning into my mic. I hope I'm not shouting in your ear. I'll murmur in your ear. Let me go ahead and I'm just going to read this real quick. The first one that came out was union. And definitely if you look at this really speaks to me of spouse. This might not even be kids. If you have kiddos, it would pertain to that. But I'm just going to go ahead and read union. That's your dragon heart. That's the heart of your situation. An actual marriage ceremony or a marriage of the minds is near. Without applying pressure, find a way to unite. Take the middle road. Together is better than apart. Hey guys, we got a little disconnected, but we didn't lose much, so I'll just pick up. But it just said the last part was we are a part of nature, not apart from nature. Now, the second card you got was dreams. Let me go ahead and focus. It's a really beautiful card. And then dreams, let me go ahead and read that just super quick. And let's see here. Dreams are a normal, healthy part of a sleep cycle. Acknowledging our dreaming selves can help us both open and deepen our relationship with the divine. Take particular heed of any reoccurring dreams. So what I see here, and anytime I see dreams, I usually think of daydreams as well as dreams that come at night. So I really get the sense that maybe maybe the king of rods has been dreaming about a union. Maybe they've kind of envisioned, okay, I really do think, I'm getting this vibe like the knight is good at work. He knows he's good at work, and you can even see it. The golds and the reds correspond with his cape. He's like we said, Eagle Scout. You know, he's learned this, got it. You know, got the badge. But the one area that maybe he doesn't have as much experience in, and honestly, you know, the King of Rods is a very fiery character. He makes a very warm and loving husband, a very demonstrative husband. Like, you know, he's the one who does a lot of PDA, will hold your hand, kiss your hand, you know, be like, that's my wife. That's my wife. I actually know a really sweet Leo hubby who refers to his wife as wifey, and he's just so proud. He's just always, that's my wifey. But that's the kind of thing I think of when I think of a King of Rods hubby. But I'm getting this feeling like maybe this is an area that you haven't treaded very much, or maybe you haven't gone so far as like a real deep, not a, you know, just not a, you haven't been married yet. Maybe you're still single. And again, this can be for a woman and not just a man. But so I think what you're thinking is maybe, you know, maybe you've been kind of daydreaming about what it would be like to be married, and maybe you just kind of need a little bit more experience in that arena. And definitely anything the King of Wands sets out to do, he's going to be good at. He will be victorious. He's raising the flag already, right? Just with the daydreams, right? And then again, creative visualization. Imagine as if you have it, and it will manifest. Now, your guidance card is Surrender to the Journey. And I really love this card. It reminds me a little bit of the Six of Swords, which kind of came out in yesterday's weekly energy reading. But here, it's just kind of saying, surrender to it. If you have an opportunity to work on whatever area that you are, you know, that you're less experienced in, go ahead and do it. You're gonna feel, it's gonna feel foreign at first. It's gonna feel uncomfortable. You might fall off the broom a little bit at first, but you're the king and the knight of wands. You know, you got this. You got this. And honestly, the Wands family, they're not afraid of a couple bumps and bruises. They're like, oh yeah, I fell flat on my ass. That was great. You know, they enjoy it. You know, they're a little rough and tumble, and they love it. Now, you got 00 for your chakra dice. First off, you got the throat chakra, which is blue, if you can see that. I know we're filming at night. But the throat chakra, and 00 is very powerful. 00, first off, 0 is the Fool card in Major Arcana, and here it's like starting off on a journey. And here, the throat chakra really pertains to talking. I think it pertains a lot to communication. I think that's another thing that you really want to focus on. But the positive, you know, anytime you have a blocked throat chakra, it means illusion. And you know, that kind of speaks to me when you look at dreams. Maybe you've daydreamed about this a lot, but maybe you haven't really communicated it to someone, or, you know, put it into action. And you're good at action. You're good at action, but it's almost like instead of just walking up to someone, you know, and taking the physical action, it might be telling you to kind of start first with some verbal communication. Start first with some verbal communication and really open up that throat chakra. And that would be if your throat chakra is blocked. Now, when your throat chakra is open, when you've exercised that area, and again, the 00 is the Fool, it's the beginning, it's the, let's try this, let's start this, let's learn. And if you go ahead and open up that chakra, it means insight. It means enlightenment. And when you look at it, you know, this also, you know, the surrender to the journey also looks a lot like the hermit with the lantern and the kind of traveling. And this does look like an enlightened person, right? He's looking up at the stars. That means wishes. The moon is full and clear, which is emotions and instinct. The water below is very calm. So I just think that if you open up to this experience, if you surrender to being a novice at this, and if you're real communicative, start with communication first. just, be a little vulnerable and tell someone, okay, I've dreamt about doing this. I'd like to try this. And go ahead and don't be afraid to take your bumps and bruises. And I don't think you are. With a Knight and a King of Wands, I don't think you're afraid of anything. But maybe you are afraid of talking. Maybe you're better at action than you are. Because again, if you're good at working but not good at talking, but go ahead and exercise that throat chakra. Start there, and then just go ahead and get those firm legs, or maybe you're helping someone else get their legs. But that's really exciting. I really enjoyed that. Way to go, deck 1. I knew this was going to be fun. This is such a good time. Thank you very much. So I'm going to put your luck dragon along with your dice. I'm going to put your chakra dice. Oh, that was an awesome read, deck number 1. So let's go ahead and get on to deck number 2, the vice versa tarot. So deck number 2, what is your D&D journey? What is deck number 2's D&D journey? Okay, got a moment. Let me do this. I'm going to shuffle a little bit more. That was okay. Okay, I'm going to go with that front one. So you got prove yourself. Okay, and let's go ahead and get your cards from your tarot. So you got the vice versa deck. Make sure we're in focus. So what is hindering? I'm making note of the flyers, but let's go ahead and what aids deck number 2? What aids them in their journey? Wow, just like deck number 1, you got the cards are speaking. Cards are speaking. So let's go ahead and see what let's start with the core, the dragon's heart. What is the core heart of your situation? What is the heart of deck number 2's situation? Okay, and you got 2. Oh wow, you got 2 really beautiful cards. I love this deck. All right, and then what is the guidance? Let's go ahead and see the guidance. Can you guys see okay? Okay, guidance for deck number 2. And let's get your chakra dice. Ooh, okay, that landed right in my lap. Oh my god. All right. You got the crown chakra, and you got number 12. All right. So let's go ahead and get into your reading. So let's begin by reading your card. You got prove yourself. Okay, I'm just going to read this real quick. So prove yourself. Jenny Heartease has a soft spot for cats, and in the derelict ruins of the brickworks, a colony of feral cats have made their home. Jenny tends to their well-being when able, but she must earn their trust before they'll come to her. Trust only comes with patience, so let those you want to draw closer do so in their own time. Jenny makes sure to avoid any sudden moves or loud noise, and instead goes about her work calmly and softly. When we prove ourselves as stable and constant, trust will grow. So here, your journey or your situation is about building trust with someone or something. And this can be a work thing, it can be a relationship thing, but basically what you see is that when someone is constant, when you show yourself to be constant, that is when trust will be developed, right? Someone will know, and especially if you're dealing with someone who has been hurt before. Hey guys, so So what I'm kind of seeing is, and again, just if there are any guys watching this video, I'm not telling you that you're a cat lady. It's not like that at all. What it is the story of it is just that it seems like you are the person in the story, and it seems to be a situation where you need to kind of earn trust with someone else. And when you kind of think of cats, they're a little bit more fickle, and especially in this story that talks about feral cats or cats that have been out in the wild. So, a regular domesticated cat, if you go to pet them and that you're not petting them the right way, they might kind of swipe at you or kind of roll or be a little moody. So here it's kind of telling me that there seems to be either someone or a group of people that you kind of need to earn trust with, or just kind of have to prove yourself to be a very steady person. And when I look at the hindrance, we got the Two of Pentacles and we got the reverse side. Remember, this is the vice versa. So the upright is this side and we got it in the reverse. And what I see here is I really like the imagery on the reverse here. Typically the Two of Pentacles is the person juggling. It's the person managing more than one either project or managing it kind of pentacles indicate physical things in life, usually money, but it can also mean juggling responsibilities. It could be juggling, you could be handling or taking care of more than one house. You can be taking care of more than one person. You can have just the fiscal, the cost of more than one property. So it kind of means a lot of things, but what this tells me here is that what it kind of tells me is that you see how this juggler, this person you can see the Two Pentacles are glowing, and you can see he's making it look easy. He's on one foot, and he's just keeping the Two Pentacles going. Keep one up, the other up, and then but you do see how there's an audience. You see how people in the distance are kind of mesmerized by him doing this. It's almost like he's an entertainer, right? Or it kind of gives me the vibe like you are maintaining two either projects or responsibilities or relationships. It could be home and work relationships. That can be a juggle, and actually there's a lot of transit in the sky that pertain to that, being pulled to your work responsibilities, being pulled to your home responsibilities. And I feel like you have an obligation to the persons that are watching, but I also, and the fact that it's in the hindrance, it's in the area that pulls you back. It's what, if you're looking at this as being the timeline, what's pulling you back is this expectation that you have to juggle. I think there's something that's either that, or you have, again, almost like an entertainer, it seems like you have a reputation of juggling, and not in a bad way. I mean, again, that takes a lot of skill. That's not an easy thing. But I think what this is kind of pertaining to is that maybe these cats or whomever that you kind of have to prove yourself to, maybe they think, oh, okay, well, you're used to juggling things. How do I know I can rely on you? How do I know that you're going to be there? So that's kind of saying that works against you. So if you're proving yourself to be a steady and consistent person, what might be taking away is other responsibilities that you have that require the more of your time and attention, where even just it makes it difficult to be consistent for these people or this person. Now what aids you, or what going forward, is you got the Seven of Wands and you got the Hanged Man. And we're going to be coming up on the Hanged Man and How to Tarot very soon, but the Hanged Man's an interesting character. It's a major arcana, so that's a big deal. It's major, right? And you see how the Hanged Man he's in a situation. He's got one foot hung on a rack there, and he's got one leg behind him, and he's looking out in the distance. And one thing that always is consistent with the Hanged Man is that he looks very calm. Like, he doesn't look panicked. He doesn't look like all the blood's rushing to his head. It doesn't look like he's, like, I'm gonna die. He's accepted the fact that he's in an uncomfortable situation, and it's almost as if the uncomfortable situation is bringing him enlightenment. It's bringing him enlightenment, right? He's learning something new by being in that situation, and he's accepted being in that situation. And the other thing that we have is the Seven of Wands is the combat card. And this is very much like, the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith. It's someone who's on the high ground, and this has been a regular. We've been seeing him in readings a lot. Someone who's on the high ground, and he's holding his station, right? He's holding down the fort, and you have 6 other wands that are coming up at him as if they were, going to try to storm his ledge, right? He's king of the mountain, king of the hill, and he's not going to let anybody take his hill, right? He's gonna. And so what this tells me that what aids you is, I think that you know your work situation, you know what your vices are, right? It's like, the Hanged Man, he knows he's hung up by one leg and there's really nothing he can do about it, and he knows that it's a hindrance. He knows it very well. But I think what it's telling you is that even though you know what's holding you back, you'd be willing to fight for this. You would be willing to fight to prove yourself. And look, this guy looks like he's proving himself, right? I think that you would be willing to stand your ground and to say, yes, I've got all this going on. Yes, I'm a busy person, right? I am a busy person. I've got a lot going on in my life. I'm getting stuff done in my life, and that's an accomplishment. That's a good thing. But that doesn't mean that I can't have a quiet life. Like, it doesn't mean just because I work like a crazy person and I juggle 12 projects, I doesn't mean that I can't come home and sustain a relationship or be there for my family, or be reliable. So what I think aids you is that understanding, is that enlightenment. And we're going to get to it in a minute, but you actually got the dice for the crown chakra, which is the crown, the top of the head, and the 12th house rules Pisces, and that rules enlightenment. And I thought that was a great synchronicity because you got the Hanged Man. He's an enlightened guy. Well, one other card that came out, and it wanted to come out with the rest, is you got the Page of Pentacles. And it's funny, yesterday in the weekly energy, someone got the 2 of Pentacles, and in that reading, it looked like one of the pentacles was falling away, and I even said it made him look like the page, right? If you get a chance, go see that reading. I think it was deck 3, but I said, wow, one pentacle's going away, and he looks like the page. And the Page of Pentacles, he's the novice, he's the learner. Like, pages are also messengers. So I think what it is that I think what holds you back, and I think you're willing, like for instance, if these cats, if being at home, and again, I'm not telling you you're a cat lady, you're not, but if having a steady relationship, either with a person or with a group, with your family, if having a steady relationship where you have to prove yourself is one of these pentacles, it's one of the responsibilities that you need to juggle, or that that the cats think that you're not going to be able to juggle or maintain. Here I see that, yes, you see how the page is just looking at that pentacle like it's the only pentacle in the world. I have a feeling that that's you with this endeavor. Again, I feel like you want to fight for it. You want to say, yes, I can do this. Don't, it's funny in the Who's Haunting You, someone got a card that said, don't underestimate me. Don't underestimate me. That's what I'm hearing. I don't know if maybe you picked the same pile from that reading, but I get this feeling like you want to fight for this. And that's in your favor. If you want to fight for this and say, I can make you feel like you're my only pinnacle. I am juggling too right now, but I can make you my priority. I can be reliable. And I just wanted to add, the other thing is, if proving yourself is maybe, if this, just on a side note, if this is someone that you might have slighted, like if you have to prove yourself to make up for some previous bad behavior, I've noticed that if it is a forgiveness thing, just to put it out there, the best way to earn trust again is just to be transparent and to be constant, and not constant in a like mother may I way. Like you never have to grovel. It's never anything like that. But say for instance that, maybe you didn't make someone, maybe, and again, this talks about this too, maybe someone would come up and say, hey, can we cuddle? And you'd be like, sure. And then the moment this crowd came around, you're like, oh, okay, never mind. We'll do this later, bye. And then, that cat goes away like, see, I knew that was going to happen, or just slighted and hurt. What you would want to do is the way that you would prove yourself, or the way that you would say is like, okay, in the past I would just, I didn't make you a priority, but be constant in making them a priority now. Go up when they want to cuddle and cuddle with them. And if anybody else comes around, go, I can't, I know I need to get to you, I'll get to you, but right now is my cuddle time with my cat. I'll get to you in a minute. So make it constant in that way. Whatever bad behavior you did before, reverse it and repeatedly and consistently show them that you've changed. Show them that you're not going to be that way anymore. That would make amends. That would make amends. And after enough times, enough times of them coming to you and going, okay, can I get this? Are you going to run away from me? Can I get this? The more that you show you're there, the more you will build trust. And when you do that enough and over a long enough period of time, you'll gain that trust back. Now, the heart, the dragon heart of your situation, and you got two of my most favorite cards. They're really quite beautiful. But you got the masculine, and let me just tell you, this guy is pretty hot, if I do say so myself. And the masculine, I'll go ahead and read it. Someone with a positive, strong masculine energy will influence or assist you. Balance the masculine and feminine aspects of your own personality. Even if you can overpower someone physically, remember that the greatest strength is shown through mercy and gentleness. Seek equality. And then the other one that you got is another one of my favorite cards in this deck, and you got creation. And it's quite beautiful. And you look at the crown, and actually the crown seems very similar. It looks like the same. The man in the creation deck looks younger. He doesn't have the beard. Maybe you just shaved the beard off, but he's wearing the same crown of looks like stag horns is what it looks like, right? And under creation it says, we are all mighty creators and creatives, or the feminine of creative. Even if we don't consider ourselves to be so. Creativity is our birthright. It is said that witches create something from nothing, and this is true of all of us. Do not be afraid to take a creative risk. Think outside the box on an issue. So what we see here, and it's very, very powerful, and your journey card, your advice, was the Phoenix. You got transformation. It says a fresh new way of being emerges. So, in this card, you see how it says you might be very strong. You might even, and again, you can be a man or a woman, you might be showing a little bit of a masculine side of yourself, or a kind of tough side. Like you might be saying, okay, yes, I can do the work. And you see all the reds and golds. It's a continuity. Here it's telling you, embrace both your nurturing side and your masculine side, the yin and the yang. If you want to prove yourself to the ones that love you, if you want to prove yourself to those who are in an emotional relationship with you, it doesn't make you any less masculine to be nurturing. It actually makes you very, very attractive. Look at that. You don't see that guy being tough, you see him holding her. And if you look at this, it almost looks like the cat, doesn't it? It kind of, it looks like, you're holding her. And it's like, you can be a man or a woman, but I'll tell you, there's nothing, if you've ever needed a hug, if you've ever had those days where and again, when it comes to proving yourself or being there for someone, if you've ever really been there for someone when they were having just a really down moment, and it could be anything. I'll tell you, just as a woman, if I'm having one of those completely irrational emotional moments where I just feel like crying, if someone comes up and gives me a hug, they are my rock. They are my rock. And that proves them as being reliable, and it proves them as being sensitive. And it is so masculine to be there. It's such, again, it's just, you are proving yourself if you can be there for someone that way, and you can do that consistently. Like, it isn't just, oh, okay, well, you're the only person in front of me right now, so I'm gonna hug you. But when this person really needs you, if the crowd is around and you just drop them to go to the crowd, that's the thing. That seems to be your journey right now. You can, and look at how strong he is. He calls the shots, right? Yes, he may play to the crowd. That might be his job. He might have to appeal to his employer, of course. But, you don't have to do that 24/7. And again, this kind of speaks to me of, when you get home, turn the cell phone off. Don't answer your emails. If your family or your loved one needs you, be there. Prove that you can handle both responsibilities without having to sacrifice one or the other. And I do think that this is going to be a transformation. I'm seeing a lot of red. I'm seeing red in the guy who's willing to fight. I'm seeing red on the pants of the Hanged Man and in the Juggler, and I'm seeing red in the crown of the king of the masculine. So I think you are transforming. I think you're learning how to be this two-sided person. You're learning how to do both things simultaneously, and you're really transforming. You're becoming something new. Now, the other thing that I noticed, and your chakra die, let's go ahead and we'll wrap up with your chakra. You got the number 12, and you got the crown chakra, which is the top of the head. This is after you've gone through the entire, span of root through to the crown. And what it is the crown chakra deals with, when the crown chakra is healthy and open, it deals with cosmic energy. It deals with, it's like the flowering of your spiritual self. You have exercised all of the chakras and come to the end, to the blooming, to the opening. And 12 is actually, 12th house is ruled by Pisces. And Pisces is the 12th sign of the zodiac, and that is a very spiritually open, sign. Now, if your crown chakra is hindered, and if it's held back, what it would mean is ego attachment. And that really is interesting, because when you have your hindrance card being like you juggling and what I think when I see that, I think what you question is, how would this make me look? How would this make me look? I'm this tough guy. I'm this man's man. If I drop all of my pentacles and go to cuddle my spouse, or because she had a tough day or she really needs me, how is that going to make me look? And that's putting your ego, it's putting your ego above your priorities, right? And that would be a block of your crown chakra, right? But It looks very positive though, because I do see, and I mean, you got 2 cards, and honestly, you got enlightenment in the what's aiding you. So I think, and you can even see, look at this, look, I love synchronicities. Look at, doesn't his shirt look like it with the triangles and the triangles on the, and this is the D, this is the 20 dice too. So, but, oh wow, but I think you're on a very good track. Honestly, I think you are very open. I think you're very, I'm getting the vibe like you're very spiritually in tuned, and you're very aware of these things. Like you're aware of what aids you and what pulls you back, and I think you're on an awesome journey, deck number 2. I really got a kick out of that. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and get to the last deck. I'm going to leave your little fighting guy on top. I like him. I think he's very positive. All right, so deck number 3. We got the Witch's Tarot and the Gold Coin. So let's go ahead and start with your Ravenswan Oracle. Deck number 3, what is their D&D journey? Deck number 3. Ooh. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead. And I am kind of getting these 2 together. I'm not trying to make these all dragged out, but all right. So, deck number 3. Ooh. This is rolling. This is really rolling. Okay, I hope you guys can see okay. What is deck number 3's advice? What is deck number 3's advice? Ooh. And what is the heart of deck number 3's situation? What is the core of deck number 3's situation? Aha. Wow. This is amazing. Okay, and what is the chakra? Oh, you got the heart chakra and you got 0. Wow, guys. All right, deck number 3. Let me go ahead and get the vibes here. First off, you did get 2, so we're going to go ahead and read the stories for both real quick. And this is your journey. So you got, first off, let's do piercing the past first. So in front, you got piercing the past. So this is your journey. Lilac Be Sweet places flowers to remember her friend, wishing he was close by. She doesn't realize that he's right beside her, watching in spirit, because grief has clouded all, even the sun. However, just like the sun struggling to break through, hope lives even in despair, even if it seems remote and veiled. The light of the sun will eventually pierce the mist, and then the scale of our pain becomes visible. The pain might be vast, but it is not infinite, and it will have an end. It will have an escape. And then the second one, which backs this up, it was behind this card, is Spread Your Wings. And Spread Your Wings is Morik Heron stands for Solhar, one of the 4 guardians of the serpent twins, Hethra and Hala. The great ocean bird is an epic wanderer and has circled the globe countless times. Along the way, he has seen many things, some terrible, some sublime, but his core values remain unchanged. Like Solhar, we should be open to new experiences, understanding that they don't threaten who we think we are or challenge what we hold important. Instead, experiencing something that might have mystified or frightened us previously deflates those fears and suspicions, or better still, provides new enjoyment and understanding. So, wow, I'm seeing such a powerful theme here, guys, because now So here you have a card that talks about someone who is missing someone, and you see the kind of spirit. I didn't expect to get this many cats in this reading, but she's mourning the loss of someone, but the spirit of them is right next to her. And then behind here you have a bird that has seen many things, but for all their experiences, they've seen good things, they've seen bad things, they're grateful for the wisdom of those journeys, right? And here in the hindrance we have the Nine of Cups. And the Nine of Cups in both traditional tarot and in this is someone who's very abundant. It's someone who's had like a wish fulfillment. And cups are really about emotion too. You can see she has all these wonderful cups of emotional experiences, and you can see she looks very happy. It's a wish fulfillment card. And then so this is what hinders you. What aids you, and again, we read the cards together, is you got the Ten of Swords and you got the High Priest or the Hierophant. And we're going to be talking about the Hierophant and how to tarot this Tuesday too. But what you see here is, and what I kind of get from this is the fact that someone here is mourning. Someone here is mourning the past. And what might have aided in the past is, you notice how when you're mourning something, and rightly so, you remember all the good things that happened, right? Maybe a relationship ended, or maybe someone passed away. And it seems like whenever you're going through the mourning process, it's like all you can remember. It almost makes it so much harder because you're remembering all those good times. You're remembering all the things that went right, and you're like, so it's in the hindrance position because it's like those memories are wonderful. They're wonderful, but it's almost as if you're living in those memories when the spirit of the person is right there next to you. It's almost as if it's keeping you in the melancholy, even though they're wonderful memories, even though they're things that you will cherish forever and you're grateful to have. Now, what aids you, and when you look at this, you have the Ten of Swords, which usually means a painful ending. It kind of means there's nowhere to go but up. And what that kind of means is that this could be a breakup. It could be that you're remembering really wonderful moments from a relationship that you had with someone. If it was the passing of someone, then it could mean that you really just feel pinned down. You just feel like you can't move. It feels like all you can do is feel pain, right? All you can do is feel pain. All you can do is remember how wonderful it is and think of how they're not here now, and you just feel pinned to the ground. You just feel like there's nothing you can do to get away from the memories of how good it was. Now, what it tells me here is that the fact that it talks about it being a journey, and it talks about there being lessons. The Hierophant is the learner. He looks like a priest. He almost looks like the Pope. And what this kind of tells you is that, and I know it's always so trite whenever you're going through something like a breakup or the loss of somebody, that someone always wants to come up and get, all cheery and tell you, oh, you're going to look back one day and, better to have loved and lost than to never have loved at all. And you're like, well, you know what? If I could lift my head up long enough to stare you down and be like, you're full of crap, right? I've definitely been there. It's like, yeah, someone's telling you, yeah, you should be grateful. At least you learned, you had that experience, you had, that lesson in your life. I was thinking about that just the other day, whenever I pull cards that are like, oh, well, you're just so spiritually enlightened now from all the pain you've been through. And I'm like, great, thanks. I'd almost rather be dumb as a rock and not be hurting, right? It's like, and also how much more and spiritually enlightened do I have to be before I get some, some normalcy, right? Before I get, it's just some happiness in your life, right? But it definitely mentioned about how there's a mist, there's a mist there. The sun hasn't burned through yet. The sun hasn't come through. The sun hasn't risen, and that's the other thing about the Ten of Swords. You don't know if the sun is rising or setting. It feels like it's setting. But here, it is saying that what aids you, what is a positive and what moves you forward is letting go, is realizing that there were positive lessons. If it was a relationship, maybe you learned something from the experience. Maybe you learned more self-respect. Maybe you learned better boundaries. And honestly, if you make kind of a checklist, as great as some of the memories are, if it's a breakup situation, you better believe that there was also, some incompatibilities too. And if you kind of make a list of those, it makes it a lot easier to heal, but not to push, but there are lessons there. There are lessons there, and it makes you a wiser person. But if it's a situation of loss, then I definitely say, get up when you're ready. You don't have to get up tomorrow. These are a lot of swords. That's a lot of pain. And so take your time with it. But what it is telling you is that this experience was not for nothing. It was not for nothing. Every experience that we have in our lives really does develop us. It develops us, and believe me, I know what you mean. There's been a fair share of loss for me this year as well. But the heart, or the dragon's heart of your situation, is peacemaking. So let me go ahead and we'll read this real quick, and then we'll wrap up. Peace comes from within. Do not rely upon others or outside influences for permission to be peaceful. Never make decisions when you are angry or experiencing any other intense emotion. Learn how to ground yourself. Forgiveness is something you do for yourself, not for the other person. And it's funny, this really does look like the Two of Swords to me as well. And it's funny, you got two keys here too, and it's like the sun and the moon. And they're kind of crisscrossed as well. And keys are always solutions. They open up the world. You can almost see things in a better light, or you can see a situation. And of course, they always say about peacemaking, and it's funny, there's a lot of purples. There is a lot of muted kind of purples in these cards, purples and grays, and then a lot of purple in this as well. But I think what it's basically telling you is that if this is a breakup situation, or if it's something that you have to forgive someone for, like if you were stabbed in the back, or if you felt like you were just shortchanged, or someone did you dirty, if it's a situation like that, I know it's you get tired of hearing, resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to kick off. But I think it does teach you something about forgiveness. If you did the right thing, if you were the best person, and if it did teach you boundaries, believe it or not, you come out a lot better off. And it's not to make anyone right and anyone wrong, but I think it does teach you something about that's kind of the core of the lessons, and these being swords, and the swords being on the side that aids you, that supports you. I think there is a practicality, it's funny when we read cards, anything of the sword suit is very reasonable. It thinks with the head, not with the heart. While the cups, and you go from cups to swords. Cups think with their heart. And sometimes when you think with your heart, as much as it, emotionally fulfills you, it does get you hurt sometimes. So maybe these bumps and bruises were to kind of teach you boundaries, but also how to navigate when things go wrong. How to be the person how to see it in a good light. How to say, okay, I had my wrongs, the other person had theirs, but I'm just going to do my best to learn from this situation, not harbor any resentment, and just move on. Just take the lessons from it. And believe it or not, you know, I had said in one of my readings, and it's true, the way someone treats you is their karma. The way you respond is yours. So really, if you grow, if you use it to grow as a person, no one can touch you with that, because it's helped you develop. And then here you go. You got probably one of the prettiest cards in. So your advice is Voyage of the Heart. Love flows through you and to you. So, and honestly, you kind of see, it almost looks like she's a young girl. It almost looks like the same person, doesn't it? Except on one side it looks like she's a young girl experiencing loss, and then she kind of transforms into this majestic woman who just has kind of learned through life. She's learned how to, you know, take the good and leave the bad, right? And I just get this feeling like this person is not jaded. This person is not a jaded person. She's had her emotional bumps and bruises, but she continues to live in her integrity and to live with an open heart. And, you know, that, honestly, that is kind of the biggest victory of all, right? You know, to kind of go through life. And to wrap it up, that's actually Voyage of the Heart. You got the heart chakra die. You got the green one, which is the heart chakra, and you got 0. And 0 is the number of the Fool. It is new beginnings. It is, you know, kind of starting off and, you know, learning from your experience. Now, the positive attribute of the heart chakra is love. And oh, look at this. And when a heart chakra is blocked, it's blocked by grief. And look at that. Tell me that is not this reading. If your heart chakra is blocked, it's blocked by grief. And look at these guys. So it really is telling you that if you love, and it's sometimes it's unconditional love too, and I know that's tough. I've had my dance with that many, many times. But if you give love and know that, it is kind of like the saying, like if you know that you loved, you know that you gave you gave love to someone, and that's such a blessed gift. That keeps your chakra open. It keeps your chakra open, and I know it's really tough to do if you have gone through loss, or you feel like you've been betrayed, or you know, just messed around. But I can assure you, you are a loving person, and it's definitely telling you that if you stay in that open heart energy, if you really kind of take it as you know, you see lessons as blessings, or you know, as experiences that can help you grow. And that's the other thing. Green is growth. Green is you know, is growth. I think that's the journey that you're on right now, and I think you know the way to go. You know the way to go, and you got kind of a tougher journey, but I think you're doing a great job. It really looks like you're keeping the faith, even though it's been hard. So, all right. Well, that was a little longer than normal, but I had a good time doing that, and I was thinking that if we wanted to, maybe we could do these readings every month on the 20th of the month, right? Like D20, day 20. And what I can do is I can go ahead and we could even, you know, we could do a dice bag giveaway. And to just show you it again, if anybody wants to be entered in to win the dice bag, this is the dice bag, and it is a free giveaway. If you comment in the section below this video, it doesn't have to be anything big. You can do a thumbs up. You can say, please enter me for the bag, whatever you want to do. And so I'm going to go ahead and end the reading there. I will be doing my How to Tarot on Tuesday with the Hierophant, this guy right here. And I hope you can join me then. Either that, or if you want to stop back by on Saturdays for the weekly energies, or on November 20th, I'll come back and I'll do another reading like this. But I hope you have a good day and happy, self-proclaimed International D&D Tarot Day. Talk to you later. See you in the next video. Bye.